Hi everyone, it's Bren here and welcome to this week's garden update. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who made suggestions in last week's comment section about other gardening accounts here on YouTube from the southern hemisphere that you think people who watch my channel may enjoy. I know myself, I'm looking forward to checking them all out, and I'm sure that people who have just come into autumn, fall or heading into winter in a few months may enjoy watching them too, to get that gardening fix during the cooler season. Included in this week's wander around the garden is a look at some ranunculus flowers, funny shaped carrots, plus a quick little peek at some more seedlings. So please just sit back, relax for a few minutes and let me show you around. It's Friday. I've just come out to do my daily early morning garden wander. I particularly love doing them this time of year, with it being early spring, because I find maybe 3 or 4 days of the week I tend to make a new discovery. Something has already caught my eye in this bed. A couple of flowers, ranunculus, that are just starting to open up. You grow ranunculus from corms. I think they look like a funny spider or octopus. This is one of my most advanced plants. You can see there's lots of buds on it as well. I'm going to have plenty of flowers very soon, but I also have a few more ranunculus in this raised bed as well, which are flowering like this gorgeous deep red burgundy colour. Actually, this one here has just flopped over. Let me see if I can get a bit of sun onto it. How pretty is that? And then one of my other discoveries this week was a new bloom over here. So you can see how they all can look a little bit different. I think I got this lot of corms from a mixed pack. Ranunculus can come in a range of colours. They can be single or double blooms. There really is a huge choice out there for purchase. This one is really my style because I love this colour combination of the baby pink and white. In this bed I have more of them. I'm using these trays just to protect them from the chickens. You can see they are quite a bit smaller, and I have even more in some pots too. So they're all at different stages, which means hopefully I'll get a continuous supply of blooms now over the next couple of months at least, until the weather starts to really warm up. The label has faded a bit, but these ones are a Rembrandt mix. They're double petal blooms, and I purchased these back in autumn time. It's usually here in New South Wales between autumn and winter where you can buy these. They come in little bags. You can get them from garden centres or online. I actually just went inside, grabbed a jar and picked those flowers that I just showed you because I want to enjoy these in the kitchen today. They make great cut flowers because they've got really long stems. I find that these will last about a week in the vase. Ideally, you should be picking them when they are at the bud stage, when you're using them as a cut flower. But you know, I'm just a home gardener. They're only going into my kitchen and I like that instant gratification. They're looking so lonely in this big jar. But I know the perfect Australian native that I can use to fill it out. It's this Prostrata or Australian mint bush. I just picked this bunch, and I have to confess, when I was over at that plant I was just shoving my nose into it because I absolutely love its smell. There's so many Australian plants that just have the most unique aroma, and I'm really drawn to it. I'll pop these in here and I'll do a bit of an arrangement a little bit later on. Just letting the girls out. Come on, out you get. Right here beside the chicken coop is this wisteria, and it is looking amazing this week. I'm so glad I'm able to show you. Absolutely covered in flowers, like just dripping in them. Look at this one. Wow, and the smell is incredible too. The bees are all over it, And I mean this in the best possible sense. The aroma is so overpowering. Have you ever had a bottle of perfume accidentally break all over the floor and it just makes the room like it gets so intense? Well, that's what this smell is like at the moment, just standing here. I'm sure a lot of my neighbours are able to smell it too. As someone who has chickens, I find that this vining plant has one huge advantage, which you may be able to figure out. It provides wonderful shade for the girls during summertime. Once all of these blooms fade, it begins to cover itself in a thick blanket of foliage, creating a really nice canopy, which helps to keep these girls cool, doesn't it? You like under here, don't you? What's the plan today, girls? What are you going to get up to? Bit of scratching, maybe a dust bath later on? Sounds good to me. I find that I have to thin out the carrots in this bed a bit more often now, maybe about once a week. I love doing this. I actually miss this section here. You can still eat these, they are tiny, but they make nice little snacks. You just need to give them a wash. But do you know something in here to point out to you? This is a mixed bed of carrots, so there's lots of different colours, purples, oranges, yellows and whites. But I've noticed the purples are a little bit more easier to spot, like here and here, because their foliage or the stems are slightly darker in colour. Let's see if I'm right. We'll pull this one out. Granted, it will be tiny, so probably won't have too much colour on it. Ooh, that's an interesting looking one. It's a forked carrot. It almost looks like a little person's body with a couple of legs. This is a very common problem when growing carrots, and it can happen in a number of different ways. So pretty much it's where the main delicate root that's reaching down into the soil gets damaged. One way this can occur is from insect damage. So you have the insects or even some other little creature coming in underneath the soil and nibbling away at the soft root, causing it to fork off in different directions. In this case only two, but I've grown carrots that have looked really gnarly with maybe 5 or 6 different sections to it. But for me, the main reason why this happens has nothing to do with insects or creatures, but rather the soil it's growing in. If you have any little tiny stones or clumps in the soil where you have the carrots growing, this can also cause forking. Now, I have to say, I am quite surprised that I just saw that in that carrot, because I really do believe I've put a bit of effort into making sure this soil has no lumps and bumps. However, you know, it definitely sure is possible that I missed maybe some clumps of compost along the way, and that's possibly what happened to that carrot. These two girls have already decided to have their dust bath, and just near the other two chucks we have Autumn and Snowflake cleaning themselves, chilling out underneath the orange tree. I have spent hours this week working on sowing seeds and potting up seedlings. I just grabbed these 2 trays because there are a few plants in here that I'm really excited about. First up are these bells of Ireland. I have actually tried to grow these before, but haven't been successful, and I'm thinking this year I'm going to have better luck, because already, well, look at that, I just spotted that one. It's not looking that great, is it? But not to worry, because I still have in this row 4 more plants to work with. This one is another one I'm excited about. It is called Blazing Star Liatris, and I was inspired to grow this by Serena at Can't Eat the Grass. You should definitely check out their YouTube channel. I really hope I'm successful like them in growing this plant. I forgot to mention that these 2 trays that I've pulled out from my little collection of seedlings are all full of flowering plants. Just in case you're new here, I wanted you to know that I do grow a lot of vegetables and fruit as well, and I have a heap of seedlings on the go for them also. I got a bit ahead of myself when potting up the seedlings in this tray, particularly with the Rebecca's in these 2 rows. I already have a couple of cells here where the seedling has completely died off, and that's because I broke one of my own rules and I got so excited about growing these that I potted them on before some of them have even started to show their true leaf in the centre. These are extremely little delicate seedlings, and I have read in a lot of books and online that you're much better off direct sowing them. So that's another thing that I didn't do, but we'll see. Gardening's all about experimenting, doing your own thing, what suits you, and if you make a mistake, well, you learn from it. I just came up here to the back porch to grab the flowers, and look what's after happening. I had a blanket up here too that I was trying to dry, or it's dry now, but I found it on top of this bunch and it's damaged this little one. Not to worry, I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come. I'm gonna head inside now and pop these on the windowsill. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you again next Friday.